How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator Survival Series. So we just dropped off some prefab houses and we are heading sort of across town to ExxonMobil, and we're going to be picking up some pesticides, I believe, and we're going to take it over to Nampa. So the reason we're doing that, the money is not great, but I want to get into this general area because when we get into here, Boyce area, I want to get those two unlockables after we dropped off the freight. I want to get those two unlockables, and we're going to take a massive big loan. I still need to really work out how much we're going to need, and I want to buy another depot. And I mean, we might even buy another 2 depots. I don't freaking know. There's one nice and close by in Ontario. There's another one there. So if we've got enough money, we might buy 2 depots and just a bunch of trucks and see what happens. To spice things up a little bit. Because, yeah, things have sort of slowed down quite a bit with our trucking company. Because there's really only so much we can do. And then it just gets to a point where we're just taking jobs and going from one job to the next. But I mean, that's what happens with trucking, and it's cool and all, but yeah, I want a bit of excitement back in my life, so yeah, we're gonna do that. I mean, it might be completely stupid to do that. I don't freaking know. We might kill the company just about instantly by doing that, but I don't know. Our driver so far has been doing well, and if they do well, and we've got 3 of them, why wouldn't like 9 of them do well? So, I mean, that's just logic. So, I mean, the logic could be wrong, but yeah. Oh, there's some boats. See, if we had 9 drivers, we could afford a boat. That'd be cool. Man, I would love a boat. Dang it. I mean, like in real life, I would love a boat. Ooh, is that a Nissan Navara? I think that was. Like a King Cab Navara. But yeah, I would love a boat. My dad used to have a boat when I was really, really young. He had a really nice boat. And, I mean, it was like a more of a type of fishing-ish boat. I don't know, it was sort of a very good mix between a leisure boat and a fishing boat. It wasn't very big. I mean, I guess probably, geez, I don't know, 20 foot? How much is 20 foot? I don't even freaking know. I don't know, like 5 meters. Maybe 6 meters. I don't know. But yeah, so he had a nice boat. We used to do, well, they used to do a lot of like water skiing and things like that, which was awesome. I did a little bit of water skiing, but I was still very young back then. But my dad made us some really cool, from my sister and I, made us some really cool, like, custom skis. Well, they were kiddies' skis, but he sort of put rope in between them so they can't separate. So it was a bit easier for us to do water skiing because, yeah, they can't sort of separate apart, which was kind of cool. And then we did quite a bit of like knee boarding and all of that, so that was cool. But yeah, I was actually way too young to really enjoy it, so I would love to get a boat. Can't afford a boat, but maybe someday. I actually do have a skipper's license, although I think it expired this year, because it's valid for 10 years, and I got it when I was 18, and I'm turning 29. Holy crap, I'm turning 29 this year. Yeah, so I'm turning 29 in September. And yeah, I think that means my skipper's license expired. Which kind of sucks, but I wasn't using it anyway. I was using it when I was younger. That's why I got it. Because a lot of friends of mine used to have boats and jet skis and things like that, or their parents had boats and jet skis and things. So when we finished school, we used to go out to like the dams and things quite a bit with boats and jet skis and all that good stuff. And yeah, so I got my skipper's license for that, and yeah, I had it for quite a long time, but only used it for probably about a year, to be honest. Well, probably since I got it, I probably only used it like twice. So it was a bit of a, I don't know, just, yeah, I've got it, but never really used it. I would like to, though. Like I say, I would If I could afford a boat, I would definitely have a boat. I love boats. Don't know why. But I also like fishing, so I would like a nice fishing boat. I think that'll be cool. Or sort of something like my dad had, which is sort of like a crossbreed between a leisure boat and a fishing boat.
Keep right.
Those are nice. I like them. Because it's not just built to do one thing. You can sort of just cruise around. You can fish a bit. You can do some water sports. You know, they're cool boats. I like them. But boats are pretty expensive. I actually thought about doing like a boat restoration at one stage. I'm kind of still thinking about it because I love doing like restoration projects. I very nearly a few months ago bought a car. It was an old, I don't even know, I think it was a, oh geez, I can't even remember what it was, but it was like a very old British car, but it was a, it wasn't a well-known, it wasn't like an Austin or anything like that. It was like a, some sort of a brand that only lasted for maybe a few months or something. They produced very few cars. And they weren't very good, but it was kind of a cool car, and I very nearly bought it because a guy... I was actually, my dad and I went to put new tires on the Pajero. So we drove down there, and I saw this car under a cover, standing on one of the stands. And I asked the guy, whose car's that? And he said, no, it's his car. And so, well, what are you doing with it? So I was doing nothing with it. He was planning to restore it, but he didn't have time and he didn't have enough money to do it and all of that. You know, what usually happens with projects. And I was like, well, do you want to sell it? And he went, yeah, I'll sell it. I said, what else are you going to do with it? They said, no, he was actually planning to take it to a scrapyard and just sell it as scrap. Like, no! Don't do that, because they're very scarce. And he actually had two of them, and the first one already got scrapped. But this one was in a little bit better condition, and it was actually a running, driving vehicle. Not registered, but running and driving. And the registration didn't bother me too much, because I could actually get it registered as a rebuild. So I wasn't too bothered about the registration. It also meant that the price was insanely good. I mean, like, really good. And I went home and I spoke to my wife about it, and she went, yeah, okay, we can do that, but I can only buy it when I come back from Cape Town, because we had that Cape Town holiday a while back. So she said I can buy it, but only when we get back from the trip. I said, okay, fine, it makes sense. So when we got back from Cape Town, I sort of started to hesitate a little bit on buying it, because I started realizing that it was never going to be a full restoration, because to get it back to its original condition, because it's almost impossible to get parts for that vehicle. So like, right, if I'm going to buy this, I want to restore it, but it's never going to be back to its original condition. And I knew that I would have to improvise on things, and I'd have to change some body lines and things to make some tail lights from other vehicles fit and things like that. And I don't know, I really like classic cars, and I couldn't get myself to do that. I mean, I would have saved the car if I did, but I just couldn't convince myself to do that. And I sort of sat on it for a while, and eventually I was like, yeah, I might get it. And then I thought, okay, you know, I don't know. So then all of the things started around South Africa. The whole worldwide crisis at the moment. All of that started hitting South Africa. And yeah, unfortunately, our business got shut down pretty quickly, and then that whole idea went out the window, because financially it was a very bad time to do it. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't buy it, but also it would have been a nice project to have during this time to keep me busy. But yeah, parts would be impossible to get right now. Because it would be difficult to get parts in the best times. So at the moment it'll basically be completely impossible to get parts for a vehicle like that. So yeah, I guess it was a good thing that I didn't get it, but I'm kind of sad that I didn't get it. And then at one stage, I think it was around just a little bit earlier than that. I think it was sort of like early December 2019.
Then turn left.
So about, I don't know, 7-8 months ago, talking at the time of recording.
Turn left.
There was a similar type project thing that got abandoned, and it was a boat. And it was a very similar price to the car as well, and I was like, dang, I really, really want to buy that boat. And it needed a lot of work, but it's work that I could definitely do myself. So, it was like minor fiberglass work and things, but it was a really, really nice boat. Like, not even joking, that was a freaking cool boat. And it was sort of like a speedboat effect, not a big boat. But it was sort of like a ski boat or a, yeah, what we would call a ski boat. So it's sort of like a leisure and ski boat. And it was a really, really freaking nice boat. And yeah, my wife sort of drew the line there and just went, no, you're not buying a boat. You can buy a car, but you're not going to buy a boat. But that's before I knew about the car. So that's kind of, I think that's why she said yes for the car, because just before that she said I can buy a car but not a boat. So yeah, I think that's why when I found the car she was like, yeah, okay, fine. But then I didn't get it anyway. But yeah, the boat was pretty cool. But she does have a point. I'm going to spend a lot of time fixing it up and making it all pretty and make everything work really well, and you know, just have a nice boat and then never ever use it. Because a boat is just one of those things we don't use that often. Especially because where we live, there's not many places that you can use a boat. So you have to travel quite a distance to use it, and you're not going to do that very often because you're working during the week, and on top of that I'm recording a lot of videos for you guys as well, which I'm really enjoying, but it is very time consuming obviously. And then by the time weekends come, sometimes I have to record on weekends. When I fall behind on videos, then I have to record on weekends, but I try and take weekends off and not record on weekends. But then you just want to relax. I mean, you just want to chill. I don't want to, you know, go boating and everything, because that is a lot of work. I mean, it's really fun, but it is a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Boating is something that I would do a lot if there was more places nearby. Like where I grew up, which was sort of low-veld area in South Africa, and there was a lot of places, or a lot of dams that you can go play around with boats and jet skis and go fishing and all of that stuff. That's why we did it a lot. I mean, we did it a lot. Where I haven't done it once since I've been living where I'm living now. So yeah, it's just because it's not that accessible. So yeah, I think my wife is right. You know, when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, initially when she said, no, you're not going to buy a boat, I was like, no, but I want a boat. And then when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, yeah, she's right on that one. I probably will never use it. I could have flipped it though. For the price that they were selling that boat with the trailer, which was licensed, I could probably have made a lot of money out of that boat. So yeah, probably would have been a good investment. Buy it, fix it up, and just sell it again, not use it. I would probably have used it once just to sort of try it out. You're not going to put all of that work into something and just sell it off and never ever try it. I would have sort of taken it somewhere and tried it once and then sell it off after that and just make a bit of money. But yeah, you know, coulda, shoulda, I don't know. I suppose if I told my wife that I'm gonna just sort of flip it, she would have been fine with it. I mean, she's very chilled with things like that. I mean, she's got a lot of sort of patience with all of my toys and gadgets and things. She knows what I'm like. And I mean, we've known each other for a very, very long time. We've known each other since like early high school. So we know each other very, very well. So she knew from the start that I like toys and gadgets and cars and boats and jet skis and basically anything that I can drive. I like, and I'm probably gonna have a few of them throughout of my lifetime. So yeah, she knew that from the start, and she's pretty chilled with things like that. But she does have a bit more sense with things like that than I do as well, which is good. Like the boat. She knew immediately, yeah, it's gonna be fun for like a week, and then it's gonna just stand and be in the way and just be a hassle. So yeah, she thinks things through a lot more than what I do. I just sort of jump and yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then she's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, why not? And she, well, this is why not. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, so she sort of keeps me in check, but she's not too strict on things like that. Oh, there's a car coming up on the inside. I really want to get into the slower lane. I'm not very comfortable here. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I just like toys and I like projects. So that's just me. We haven't seen that much of Idaho so far. It seems to be very, very dry. I don't know much about Idaho. The only thing that I kind of know is they farm quite a bit of potatoes around here, if I'm not mistaken. That's sort of the only thing that I know about Idaho. And that kind of rhymed. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. But yeah, it's kind of nice. I mean, I don't mind it at all. It's pretty cool. It sort of reminds me of Nevada. So, but it's cool. I like it. And we've only got 56 miles to go, so we're very nearly at the destination. And we'll definitely finish this delivery today so that we can figure out how much we're gonna loan in the next episode. Well, I'll figure that out before the next episode, and then we'll take the loan in the next episode and buy a bunch of trucks and depots and all of that good stuff. That is our loan payment going off, which is good. I mean, we still owe like $490,000 on that loan, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we've only paid off like maybe just over $10,000. There was still a long way to go. I have to say, I do like the speed limits in Idaho. 70 miles an hour, good. I mean, it's not Nevada where you can do 80, but I mean 70 miles an hour is pretty damn good. It's a lot better than California. Dang, doing 55 everywhere sucks. Alright, there's a plane flying over there. I definitely can't make out what plane it is, but I think it's probably a smaller type plane, private plane. There's a nice rest area over there. Oh yeah, we also went into 1.38. I think I briefly mentioned it in the previous episode, but I didn't really say what it's all about. We have had some new roads added, a few roads as far as I understand it. I briefly went through the patch notes. So I think we had like 1 or 2 roads added. We've had some fuel stop areas, like rest areas and fuel stop areas and all of that good stuff. Some of that revamped, and then I think Las Vegas was completely revamped, and we haven't been there yet, and we've got a depot in Las Vegas. So yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to head back there and see what it's like. So apparently that's been completely redone. So yeah, pretty cool, kind of exciting. 65. Alright, so we don't have far to go. We're in Boyce now, and where we're heading, can't remember the place's name, but it's sort of literally just on the other side of Boyce. It's almost part of it, that's how close it is. So all good, nearly there. still cruising at a solid 65 miles an hour, which is actually nice. They still let you do 65 through sort of the city. I mean, you're on a highway, so they should, but sometimes it gets slowed down quite a bit. But we're all good. Yeah, so Boise is the capital of Idaho. Again, as far as I know. But yeah, it's pretty big. It doesn't look like there's a lot around here, but it's actually pretty big. I mean, we've been driving for a while now since we sort of entered this area, but you don't see too much. Maybe if we actually like properly head into town, then we'll need to go into that lane. I didn't realize that it's 2 lanes coming off. There's some nice cars over there. But yeah, maybe if we like properly head into town, like the city center, then we'll sort of see a lot more of it. I've seen some photos and it looks pretty cool, but from the road you don't see too much. There's some, looks like silos off in the distance there. Those are some big freaking silos. Come on, traffic light. Don't have all day. Oh, there's a water tower in the distance there as well. It seems like the states really like their sort of ball-shaped water towers, where it's just sort of a big metal structure with a big tank on top. Where in South Africa we tend to have more, oh, I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of like quite narrow at the base and then sort of widens. Yeah, it sort of gets wider and wider the further it heads upwards. So you basically get like this upside down cone effect, but it sort of flares out quite a bit at the top. So it's not sort of like a upside down pyramid, I wouldn't say. It's sort of like a tube going upwards for, I don't know, like 20 meters or whatever, and then it sort of flares out. Almost like a golf tee. If you can imagine a golf tee, where it's sort of straight, just like sort of a cylinder shape, and then it sort of flares out at the top. We have quite a lot of those in South Africa, so yeah. That's actually the best way I can explain it, is think of a golf tee. That's what ours is normally shaped like. And they're pretty freaking big. And then we have our other reservoirs, which is literally just one massive big round tank. Nampa, there we go. That is a cool signboard. Your massive round big tanks that just sits on the ground. And yeah, it just looks like one big round building, but it's obviously very, very thick concrete, reinforced concrete. But it really depends on where it's situated, because obviously the taller ones generate more water pressure and all of that good stuff, so yeah. Alrighty, Nampa.
Go straight.
I wonder if the pesticide is for potatoes. There's a hamburger up there. Welcome to Nampa. Yeah, so I don't know, let me know about the whole potato thing. I've actually heard a few people talk about Idaho, they farm a lot of potatoes, but yeah, I never actually researched this, so I'm not 100% sure how true it is. Obviously, we used to have, with the lodge, we used to have a lot of Americans coming in, because we're very close to the airport, so they would fly in and stay here, and then usually just stay for a night, and then move on to wherever they're touring or traveling throughout South Africa the next morning. So they sort of have a stopover. And yeah, we would generally sit around the fire and have a bit of a chat and everything. So I know a lot of Americans. So yeah, I just sort of vaguely remember people talking about certain states, and yeah, because you obviously ask where they're from. And they'll say, I'm from here. And it's like, oh, so what do you guys actually do around there? And they say, oh no, they do a lot of this or they do a lot of that. So yeah, I sort of vaguely remember something like that. I have to say, the States is still one place that I would really, really, really like to visit. I could probably quite easily live in the States as well, if I could. I probably would, but I think I'll go more sort of south-ish to sort of get away from the like really cold weather, the northern weather. I don't do well in cold at all. My wife does. I don't. I don't like the cold. I don't like it at all. I don't like jackets. I don't like layers. I like hot weather. It has to be like 35 Celsius. Because I want to be outside and I want to get, you know, like, just, I want to be able to swim and, like, sit in the garden and not be cold. I hate being cold. And I don't get cold easily. I'm usually the last one to put on a jacket, but I hate being cold. Absolutely hate it. So if I had to, or had the opportunity to ever live in the States, I would probably go sort of Texas side. Sort of more south-ish. Oh, it needs to go in there. Yeah, we could probably... Yeah, let's go in there. Yeah, so I think I'll sort of go the southern side of North America. Just because of climate. And the Formula 1 is in Texas. So, yeah. That's a bonus point as well. Alrighty, let's get this thing parked up. Oh, I should have been in there. Goodness me, I thought yeah. Alright, take two. I really do like our truck. We've got a freaking nice looking truck. I like this thing a lot. Over-rotated that massively. It's okay. We're lined up. Alrighty, they're pretty happy with that. Good. Right. Handbrake on. Lights off. Engine off. Disconnect. And let's see how we did. 208 miles, 3 hours, 48 minutes, 43.9 gallons of fuel. We have made $1,133 and 342 XP, and we are sort of very slowly on our way to level 18. But yeah, that was pretty good. That was very, very easy. It seems like the roads in Idaho is very, very easy to drive. Good speed limits, and it's very flowing. Well, we haven't found a way station yet to break our momentum or anything like that, so pretty chilled. I like it. I like it a lot. We still need to see a lot more of it, but in the next episode, we're gonna take a loan and buy a depot, possibly 2 depots. I don't know. I'll have to look at the finances and see what we can do. And yeah, buy a bunch of trucks and hire a bunch of drivers, and we'll drive around the city here a little bit, Boyce and Nampa. We'll drive around them a little bit, get a bit of a feel for the scenery and all of that good stuff. And yeah, then we'll see whether we're gonna completely kill the company or if we're gonna be booming and become multi-millionaires. But that remains to be seen. But that is gonna be that for today, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, and I will see you all next time.